Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Brothers and sisters, still on the origin of Islam, we talk about the life and the marriage of the Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the controversy surrounding the marriage of the prophets. We know that Quran had mentioned that the maximum of women that we Muslims have to get married to should be no more than four. That's Batna wa Salata wa so you should marry not less than four. Four is the highest. But when it exceeds four, it's no longer marriage, right? Rasulullah married more than eight or nine wives. Nine wives. As the Quran mentions that you should be married more than four. But Rasulullah married more than four. Because Allah is encouraging the believers and advising them that the best way is to marry one if you cannot do justice to them. Now we look at the life of the Rasul, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself married to Khadija bint Khuwaylid as the only wife he married to when he was 25. And the marriage lasted probably when he got to his 50. It was said that Khadija died some 2 or 3 years uh, after the Behita. 3 years before the migration. That was 13 years. It was 10 years after the Bihita, the time he became a prophet. Now we look at it from the historical evidences or surrounding the issue of the marriage of Rasul. That Rasulullah was really married to Khadija alone, and there was no other woman beside Khadija. That was why Aisha would lament each time the Rasulullah would mention Khadija either in some passing time or with her, then Khadija felt jealous about that. When he would say, مَغِدْتُ عَلَى نِسَائِي كَمَا أَغِدْتُ عَلَى خَدِيجَةِ مِنَ بِنْتِ خُوَيْلِدٍ. That Rasulullah يُكَثِّرُ ذِكْرَهَا. This is to mention her a lot. And when you mention her a lot, it has not mentioned لا يكثر ذكر لأحد من إحدى من أزواجه إلا إياها. You don't mention any other except only Khadija. Khadija was given that special title. It was said that when I asked Rasulullah, why do you love Khadija so much? He said that Allah has promised me that He has given her a house in Jannah. That's awesome. Now we look from the books of the Hadith. Now we see that Khadija was the only wife he married to. After Khadija, he got married to Sauda. We learned that Sauda being to Zama'ani. Sauda was the only wife in my according to a great tarikh like Al-Baladuri from in his book, and also from Ibn Saqir, and also from great scholars like Ibn Athir quoted from Abu Nu'aym and Isfahani, saying that this wife that was married to after Khadija was Sauda bint al-Zama'ani. Then that marriage stayed for 4 years without any wife. Then Allah's apostle was with that woman until some of the companions get jealous, saying, "Yeah, will they marry from a Sauda, a black woman? Let's give our daughters to Rasulullah." Some of them brought their daughters to the Prophet and to solidify the union of the Sahaba, because if he had denied them, they might go against him and support the Kuffar. So since they are bringing the daughters to the Prophet, so it is okay for the Rasulullah to accept them. So that's why he began to accept some of the wives, some of the daughters. Now we know one of them that is more of controversy was that of Aisha. Meaning, they had a hadith that reached us saying that Aisha was gotten married to the Prophet when she was 6, but betrothed, and it was consummated when she was 9. The hadith is narrated in Bukhari and other books like Muslim, quoted from Ibn Hisham, or quoted from Hisham. Hisham narrated from his father Al-Urwa, Arwa narrated from Rasul, from Aisha. Aisha would say so and so. This hadith is so widespread today, and it has been an attack on the Prophet, saying that Prophet is a pedophile. For at the age of 54, getting married to the girl of 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, as the hadith says. Because the hadith, not just the age. Now we look at it because in those days, there are early puberty of the female gender. At the time, Like example, you see in the Bible, like Rebecca got married to Isaac in the Bible, which was Ishaq. It was said that Rebecca was around 12 years old when she got married to Ishaq, and Ishaq was about that kind 50 years old. It happened like that. Some say it was 40 at the time, but very long range of 8 years in between. Now we see also that Yusuf alayhi salam, Yusuf, this is not the prophet, the foster father of Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, that he married to Mary when Mary was 12, while he was 90. Some say he was 70, some narrations. Now we see that that age was not pedophilia at the time, because those people, they were living a life that a girl at that early age quickly reached puberty. So it is normal that they have developed some parts in their body for to prepare them for getting married. Now we see that Aisha wasn't exempted. Aisha herself was at the age of, according to the say, was 6 or 9, but that age, to me, I do not stand on that point. The meaning Aisha will not be at that age. It was according to historical records that we have, not just the hadith. We cannot rely on the hadith because according to the hadith quoting from Isham, from Urwa, it was said that at the later part of the life of Urwa, he had some issues in his akhlaq. That was when he narrated the hadith in time of Bani Umayyah. So he made some mistake in figures. But that doesn't mean that the actual age was 9 or 6. Because said that according to some reports from great scholars that Adhabi wrote in his book saying that Aisha was among the first who submitted to Islam, the first 18 people who submitted to Islam the first year where they beat her, the first year of beat her, where Rasulullah became Muslim, was preaching Islam. The 18 persons who submitted, among them was Ubaidah bin Jarrah, Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah, and many of them like others like Zubayr ibn Awam, and many of them like Abu Bakr al-Siddiq, and many of them like even Abu Ruman, the mother, and many of them they submit, they all accepted Islam. It was said that Asma bint Abu Bakr accepted Islam, even Aisha accepted Islam at the time. Now, looking at those hadith, now the problem is that Aisha was a Sahira, and as the hadith, as the history put it upon us, it was a Hazahira at the time of Islam. Some say it was 7 years, according to Bihaki and the rest of the historians, saying it was 7 years at the time. So that means if it was 7 years in the Bi'ta period, that means Aisha would have been around 22 years when she got married to the Prophet at the second year after Hijrah in the month of Shawwal. Now, looking at that, that's some evidence that she wasn't 6 years or 9 years when she got married to Rasulullah. But shocking of it that she also, according to the narration reported about her, that she has an elder sister called Asma binti Abi Bakr. Asma was born 27 years before the Hijrah. According to narrations, it was said that Asma according to Ibn Kathir in his Bidayah wa Nihaya, are also from Al-Dhahabi in his Ma'rif al-Sahaba, and many of them who recorded, like example, like Ibn Saqir, and also like Bahawi, and many of them, they said that Aisha كانت أسمع أحسن من عائشة بأشهر السنة. That Asma was older than Aisha with 10 years. And said that Asma, now the narration said, كانت أسمى قبل التاريخ, before the Tariq ب27 سنة. She was 27 years before Hijrah. Tariq there was Hijrah. Tariq. Now, in another report, it was said that she died at 73 years after Hijrah, saying, according to Ibn Kathir and many other books like Al-Zahabi as well, and even like scholars like Ibn Safir and many, even Ibn Hathir, quoting from Abu Nu'aym and Isfahani, saying that she died 73 years after Hijrah. That makes it 100 years old when she died. And Aisha says she was 10 years older than what? Aisha. That means Aisha would have been giving birth on the 17th year before Hijrah. And if she was 17 years before Hijrah, that means she got married to the Prophet 2 years after. So that means after Hijrah, that means she will be 19 years when she got married to Rasulullah. This is mathematically correct based on the historical evidence before us. Now, before that, they want one thing that really shook my mind from the hadith found in Sahih Bukhari, but I'm not saying that Sahih Bukhari is not Sahih, but some hadiths might not be accepted.